What's going on in the world today? What's up, guys? So make sure we're live here. Ooh. And people will start slowly trickling in here.
Cool.
All right. What's going on in the world today? We have my special peeps here today. The very first people to ever hit the join button.
Hey.
Throw them X's up.
Throw them X's up.
Yep. So I don't know. We've been maintaining through this winter with this market shift. I mean, I knew this is going to be the craziest, toughest, coldest winter, my 13, 14 years, whatever it's been in real estate. But, I appreciate, leaders just like you guys in the network. But, out of the 2,500 people it's in the network, you guys are the very first ones, man, to catch the vision and, also open to, brick and mortar EXP hub, first one to do that with us as well. So I got a lot of love for Ebony and Clarence here. They've been with me the whole time. Pretty much I've been with EXP, 5-time icon agents. And so I know they've been heavy prospectors, they're investors, they're flippers, they're holders. They kind of done a little bit of everything. And so got a husband and wife team here. So I like to just introduce Ebony and Clarence. I'll let you two take it from here. Welcome, guys.
Man, we appreciate you too, brother. We thank y'all for allowing us to be on here. So like I said, we enjoyed I'm glad we made the decision.
Yeah.
I tell you.
5 years ago now.
It's been a wonderful journey. So absolutely. Well, of course, a lot of you know, I'm Clarence. For those I don't know, I'm Clarence Graham. And
I am Ebony Graham. We are a husband and wife team. We have been together working in real estate for 10 years now.
Mhm.
This is our 10 year
working together.
Working together for 10 years. Who would have thought the first 2 or 3 years, I don't think we thought we would have made it to 10 years, but we are here and it has been a fun ride. We have enjoyed a lot of success together in this real estate business. We made the decision to move to EXP together. It took us, was it a day?
Probably a day, and I found a space in about.
I think it was a day. Yeah, I think it was a day that we made the decision after Clarence and another agent that was on our team at the time talked to Adam, and we left and found a brick and mortar in 1 week. So it all happened really fast, but it was a move that we are extremely grateful for.
Definitely. And so we had so many different ways when they were asking us to come on to share different ways that we've grown our business, because we've run a successful team. We had a team for several years. And then we had that where everybody's now, we just put them in the network. But so we've done that really well. We do invest heavily a lot. We definitely believe in that. So if we ever want to come back, we can show you really ways. We've bought properties with literally no money down. So I know a lot of people see that on the infomercials, but that's a real thing, that we were able to take properties subject to rehab them, sell them, make profit on the back end. I mean, we've done several wholesale deals. We buy apartment complexes. So we enjoy, like I say, investing in and being able to share with others what we do and how to be able to duplicate that. So we chose gold mining because in a changing market, a lot of times I know that people tend to want to chase and buy leads and do other things. But whether we had a traditional team or our individual team with just us together, the database has always been our biggest return on investment, of course, yes, because it's a lesser cost, but also the people you get to work with is a lot funner. I have found it's a lot easier to work with people that like, and trust than to chase strangers for months and months and hope they choose to do business with you. And so one of the things we want to talk about as well as we go through this is really increasing your cost per hour, because that's what the database will do. And a lot of times we tend to forget about this, even no matter how many houses you sell. A lot of people tend to get away from this. So what we want to do is share with you how we really do have a true system of continuously doing a lot of transactions with strictly through our database. So Evie's going to share a screen, pop in any questions, Adam, I don't know if they have questions, how we can see those, but if you guys just let us know, we'll jump right into this. So.
All right, can you guys see that?
Good.
Maybe we can see our
Yes,
chat.
we can see it.
Bet, let's go.
Perfect.
Let's roll.
Great. So like Clarence said, even throughout the time that we had our team, we've always relied on our database for the bulk of our success. So when we were pulling in hundreds and hundreds of leads every month, when we reconciled at the end of the month and saw where most of our money was coming from, or even at the end of the year, we would reconcile and look at our lead platforms and look at what was producing the most. Year over year, we saw that our database and the way that we handled our sphere was typically over 50%. A lot of times it was 51, 52% of where our deals would come from.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that we don't run a team, we, just work with our network. This is one of the core pieces of the things that we teach to the agents that come into the network. And it's one of the core pieces to our business still to this day. And
I was going to add to that too, really quickly. And it's also recession proof, if I can use that word.
Yeah.
And we're not in a recession. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not saying we are. I'm not an economist, but I'm just saying it's the one piece of business. It's the one leg source. No matter what's going on in the economy, it produces results because people still need to move. And so I know a lot of people have probably heard about like work your sphere, work your database, but we're going to show you how to create a real processing system, a predictable way of adding people continuously to your database and how to market to them. And I don't really like to call it database. I like to call it my source of relationships, because it's not just a database. If you treat it as that as a database, it feels like more of a job. But when it's a source or a hub of relationships that you are that you're impacting, you relate to it a different way because you're always seeking to add value to that social circle, and you're having to feed it, right? Because that circle that you'll notice as people start getting licensed and clients want to get their real estate license, you continuously have to feed this thing. So we're going to talk to you about a true process. I'm telling you, hands down, I'm grateful to say we don't have to go out and chase business. We literally get over 5 to 7 referrals each and every week. And the good thing about it too, the average price sale is like just amazing. So we'll jump right into this.
So one thing that we notice when we talk about this with a lot of agents, and whether they're seasoned agents who've been in the business for 10, 15, 20 plus years, or brand new agents, is that a lot of people don't even have the basics. They don't have their list. Or you might think you have your list, but you probably just got people that were in your cell phone and you kind of put them in your database, or people that you worked with before and you put those people in your list, and that's the gist of it, right? And that might be a good list, but we want to make this list as comprehensive as possible because we want to be able to touch and stay top of mind to as many people as we possibly can. So your first step is to create your list, right? This is what we do. We still are creating a list because this is an ever evolving list. This is not something that you do one time and then you don't look back at it. This is something that we're constantly sending to our assistant, to our RSA. So our list is growing. Our list has over 1,000 people. Y'all, I swear I didn't know this until like 2 days ago. So we use MailChimp, and if you have over a certain amount of people, you have to start paying. And so my assistant sent me a text and she said, hey, MailChimp sent us a thing saying we got to start paying. And I'm like, why? We don't have over 500 people. She said, Ebony, we have over 1,000 people. I was like, oh, okay, we do need to start paying. So this is something that's ever evolving for us. So on that list, you want to make it comprehensive. Put on there whoever you know. I don't care if you love the person or you hate the person. Put them on the list, right? And there's a rhyme and reason as to why you do that. You put your best friend on there. We have our mother and fathers on our list. We have our neighbors on our list, old neighbors, people we meet at the gym.
Yeah, right.
Everyone goes on the list, right? And the reason you do that is because once you start making it as comprehensive as you can, you're going to go to the next step where you're going to look at the degrees of separation. So if Clarence puts his niece on the list, he's going to automatically start thinking about the people who are associated with his niece, right? And he might know a few of his niece's friends. because, you know, they come around or whatever the case may be. So then he's going to add those people to the list.
Yes.
Right. So, because we all have 7 degrees of separation amongst the people that we know. Okay. So you want to make it comprehensive. You want to then start thinking about the people who know those people that you also know. Right. So that's the point in making it comprehensive. And then you also want to make sure that you are constantly raising awareness when you're going out. If we went, Clarence is a part of a cigar club.
Mhm.
Right. And so I go to some of the events with him and I end up meeting new people every time I go to these events. I want to be aware of that. Like, you know, we kind of walk through life sometimes and we don't really notice the people that we meet, right? The new people, right, that we meet. And so we want to be aware of, I'm going to this event, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to church, I'm going wherever I'm going. Let me see who I'm going to meet today, right? Who can I add to my list today? And you want to make it a goal for yourself to add at least 2 people to your list every day, every week. If you're really not a person who goes out a lot, you know, make it an intention to add a certain amount of people to your list as much as possible.
And also adding to that too, because I can hear someone saying, well, I don't want to be this cheesy real estate person. We're never that.
No.
So the cool part about it, you have social media now. So back when I started real estate, you really had to really ask for people information. But now because of social media, you know, quickly always people ask you, what do you do? Well, I'm in real estate. Oh man, how's the real estate market? Hey, it's really cool. Check out my page. You could kind of follow what's going on. I always keep things updated and they'll instantly want to Facebook you or Instagram your name on there, right? From there, we pulled that whole list of people strictly off of Facebook and placed them inside of our database. And these are real people we know. So they're not people, I don't have people in our database that if you call, they wouldn't know, no idea who we are. So I always make sure that you're doing that. So anyway, yeah, for time's sake, we'll keep moving on.
But that is a great thing. Social media makes it so easy now because it's like, hey, what's your Instagram? Or what's your, you know, are you on Facebook? Let's follow each other. That's so easy. And that's not a weird conversation to have with people. You're not trying to sell them anything. And you don't come across as this, you know,
cheesy salesperson. And so we're going to get some more into the meat, but we just want to walk through and kind of, because there's so many different people. And I'll tell you right now, really quickly, when you're doing this for the first time for our seasoned people, or even people you've been in business a couple of years, anybody, I'll say, this is the boring part. This is the place where you're going to want to shy away. You can't just throw this in the eye and say, because that person won't know that's Miss Sally you sold a house to 2 years ago like you will.
Right.
So Ebony is going to walk through a process how to clean this up. But if you haven't done this in a long time, it will be boring. I'm not going to lie to you. When I had to do this the very first time, after just having, you know, MLS closes and just data everywhere, it was very challenging, you know, to really sit down and have to do this and slow me down to take 10 people a day and start working on this.
Pull into the camera some more. So yeah, and he's right, man. We tried, I remember we tried that, like, to just give it to our assistant at the time. And she would be sitting there like, I don't know these people. Y'all have to walk me through who these people are so that I can categorize them correctly. Because that's the next thing, is not only do you have to get that list of people together, and you have to put them in categories, right? And so I have a kind of an easier category list because of the way our list is kind of set up at this point, because we've been doing this list for 10 years at this point. And if I don't know who they are and Clarence can't remember, he has this thing where he remembers like every address that he's ever, I don't know how he does it. So if I can tell him the address, then he'll know who the client was. So we kind of can do ours that way. But for simplification purposes, this is kind of how you want to separate your list. So you want to have your hot candidates, right? You want to have your friends and family on that hot candidate list, or people who've already referred you business.
Correct.
Whether you have worked with them or not, if they've started referring you business, then you want those people to be kind of your hot folks, right? Then you want to have your leads that you push your products to, right? So you want to have the leads that you're okay with sending out your just listed, just sold stuff to. You're okay with sending them, you know, your market reports and things like that. Then you want to have your direct approach list. These are the people that you know, but you're not really comfortable with sending them just listed, just sold, right? They don't really fall in that category for you yet. So those are the people that you might want to just really interact with heavily on your Facebook groups and social media, things like that. And then you're always going to have your indirect approach list, which are the people that you don't really know that well, right? These might be, like I said before, this might be your niece's friends, right? You don't want to push them, you know, real estate stuff, but you want to find a creative way that you stay top of mind with them. And social media helps a lot with that, but we don't want to rely just on social media for our business, because the way, what is it called? The way that they do the algorithm for social media changes so much that, you know, it's great if you have a Facebook group with these people in, because then you can hit that group directly. But if we're talking about just Facebook in general or Instagram in general, the algorithm changes so much that if you just rely on social media for your marketing to this group of people or any of these people, then you're not going to see the success you want to see.
And real quickly too, just for those who come back from probably reading the MREA book back in the day, this is kind of where you're separating your haven't met past clients, allied people. So remember, your hot candidate list will be more your allied people. Be very conscious of that, because the objective is to take everybody from a haven't met place, or I've met them, and that you convert them to your allied group. And we're going to talk to you and teach you how to do this systematically without ever selling or calling and saying, if you know somebody to look buy or invest in real estate, contact me. We don't have those conversations. We have added value conversations through video, and we're constantly dropping video to our sphere with a newsletter, teaching about what's going on in the market, but not talking in terms of, you know, interest rates or this. So we may say, you know, if you recently bought a home, here are some ways you can save on your taxes. You could do this, and do that, right? So we're always adding value through now video, through that content to our sphere. And we're also dropping that same video in like our Facebook group. So again, we'll talk to you, but that's, again, your allies are who your hot candidates are. You're going to have your met group of people. Those are people you've met but haven't done business with. They just know you, like guys in my cigar club. I've met them, I know them, but they haven't done any business yet. And then you're going to have current and past clients, people that you're actively either working with, and your clients that you've done transactions with. And then again, your haven't met group would be the people, like I said, my niece's friend, or they may know me, or they may inquire, you know, through some other various ways. But again, that's just helping you have a understanding if your mindset comes from that way of setting up your database.
Yeah, he's aging himself, because he just referred to the MREA. I'm sure new people probably don't even know what that is. All right, so you can have your list, but a list is just a list if you don't have a plan. It is just that, right? Clarence likes to refer to dating a lot when he's teaching classes like this. So if I just have this girl's number or this guy's number in my phone, it's just that. It's just a number. If I never press call and actually have a conversation with that person, then we don't move any further than I just have a number.
Correct.
So if you just have a list, you will not move any further if you do not have a plan. The reason that we stress having a plan is because this is what makes you, or what has made us have a sustainable career and not a hustle. A lot of people do real estate and they're just hustling. They're just getting what they can. They're getting the scraps. They're getting whatever lead comes in and drops in their lap. That's a hustle. We want to have a sustainable career, and thank God we have had a sustainable career for the last 10 years because we've always had a plan behind what we're doing, right?
And take massive action on the plan. Right. So even though when you set these plans up, I think that's one of the things, people that have a great list, they'll set things up, but then they don't really have a plan and actionables. They take actions to implement the plan. So blocking out this stuff, and we'll talk about it as we go through this more, but when you have to make the calls, make the calls. It's not hard. And we do a lot of voicemail dropping as well, but we'll just drop saying happy 4th of July, because we show up when life shows up, right? So we're doing 4th of July, we're doing happy Mother's Day, we're doing happy Father's Day. We're never calling to sell or market or prospect anything. They already know we sell real estate. Right. What we're wanting to do is stay top of mind like a commercial at all times, that they're continuously remembering, oh, those are my friends, not just my real estate agents. So we want to penetrate that wall of just saying, that's my agent, that's my friend and my agent. So you have to take action on this. And I know it feels boring because typically when we buy leads, we feel like it's a potential sale when you call that lead. Well, it's different when you're calling somebody just to check in with them to see how things are going. That's not necessarily a conversion that you feel like, oh, I'm gonna sell something today. So you have to take massive action. If you set all this up, never take action, and it takes time. Remember, seed time and harvest. This business is you got to work like a hunter. You got to work like a hunter, but you got to think like a farmer. And a farmer continuously is planting seed so that future harvests come that they can eat off of. A hunter still has to kill and eat for the day. We get that. But too many agents only want to kill and eat. And again, that's what Ebony said. You'll be kind of like the caveman days, where every day your goal is to go out and kill something to eat. And you never have anything that you can have a harvest that's getting fed, and you're producing crops that you can continuously eat off of, okay? So we want to teach you this because this is how you can have a sustainable and repeatable business at all times.
So those that have a career, a sustainable career off of their database and off of the people that they know or even don't know, they consistently touch the people that they know, like, and trust. They create a plan around these touches and place them in their calendar every year. That is so key. If it is not on your calendar, it is not a priority and it's not going to happen. And that's with anything.
Mm-hmm.
They follow up and they do it more than once. Those that have a hustle, they don't have a list of people that they consistently market to. Their only plan is social media. And we kind of talked about that, why that's not sustainable. As much as we love social media, I love it, Clarence loves it. It has helped our business tremendously, but that cannot be the only thing you use. And you only talk to the people you can catch on the phone. All right, so
Little meat and potato. Take a picture of this, because this is kind of the plan we want you to follow. Okay. So a lot of people say a 33 touch. Remember, we about 10Xing. So it's not only about making sure that you're reaching out, it's how will you reach out, right? And you have to make sure that you're speaking to you have to speak to your database and understand who you're talking to so that your message fits their needs. Okay. So you don't want to be talking to, let's say, first-time home buyers, but you're talking about how to save money on taxes on the property, right? So we're going to teach you different ways that you can still bring and add value, but still have a message specifically around those you're trying to reach out to. So make sure you take a plan of this, because this is a real meat and potato. You can literally run with this and you can hang up from the class and go make money today.
And y'all, this is our actual plan. So some of this stuff, I meant to take some of this out because you wouldn't, if you're not from our area, you might not understand like cookie fix coupon, but I'll kind of explain, and I'll go through it real quick. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Like Clarence said, take a picture of it. Most of it is self-explanatory, but these numbers here on the end are for us and also for our assistants and ISAs who help us with this, so that they kind of know how many of these we're expecting to go out every year, right? And so we always do a newsletter. Right now we're actually doing one every month because we have a marketing ISA who, you know, she's doing this. So before, when we were just letting our assistant do it, we were just saying, hey, let's get out one a quarter, right? But now that we have someone specifically for marketing, we have someone who's doing it every month. One thing about our newsletter, we always put two things in it. We always have a video in our newsletter, always.
Don't just do words. People do not read a whole, that's going out the way.
Yeah. So we have a video, and that's real easy to just shoot a video, put it in a YouTube format, and then just link the YouTube to the newsletter, and the entire video will actually pop up where they can just press the play button. And we do all this through MailChimp, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But we always have a video, and in the video we can be talking about all kinds of stuff. Last month we talked about Black History Month.
We did that.
We'll talk about Christmas. We'll talk about what's going on in the market.
Right.
It's whatever, you know, we're not always talking about real estate specific things. Sometimes we are, but sometimes we're not. But it gets them to continue going through the newsletter, because we'll oftentimes reference like, hey, scroll to the bottom of the newsletter. We have a surprise for you. We always throw like some little special treat in our newsletters to get people in the habit of going through it. They might not read the whole thing, and that's okay. But at the bottom, we'll sometimes put like a Starbucks QR code for them to get a free coffee. We'll sometimes put things like Cookie Fix. That's just like a little bakery that we have here. So you can just throw little treats at the bottom of it, put $50 on it, put $25, whatever your budget allows, and, you know, ask them to just get one thing. And as you know, when it runs out, it just runs out. However,
and make sure you put that disclaimer. It's on a first come, first served basis. So be sure that so you don't run and we've never had nobody run up because everyone won't go and get the cookie. It's the thought that people are like, wow, that was really cool. And if they bump into you in the public, they'll be like, that was really nice of y'all to like send cookies out for everyone. Like, did you get one? No, but that was really cool. Like, right. I appreciate that.
People appreciate the thought. So that's one thing about our newsletters. We try to make them as interactive and, so we do get a higher open rate because people now know that we're going to have something in those newsletters. We do market reports. Oftentimes we put the market reports inside of our newsletters, but sometimes we send them out separate. You can do it however you want to do it. We make sure that we send out something that asks people to actually follow us on social media. Oftentimes we assume that people are just going to naturally go to our social media pages and follow our pages, follow our business page. They're not. You have to ask for it. And so that's something that goes out as well. We do send out sold postcards to our database. And one thing about that, you can actually use your database as kind of your farming, especially once you get a large enough database, you can start farming your database with those postcards. You know how we farm neighborhoods? You can do that same concept with your database and farm those people with newsletters.
Right.
And it's more effective than just farming random people in this particular neighborhood that you don't know. You see, we do all the cards, birthday cards, Father's Day, Mother's Day. We do the whole shebang.
Let me step in there real quick too. But this is part of when you're filtering through your system that I forgot to go over. When you're going and creating your list, right? So that's the first step. The second part you definitely want to do as you're cleaning it up, tag people.
Yeah.
So you have to have a CRM, I believe, and we didn't go into that you can massive text, do massive voice drop if you can. You can also tag and filter really easily, right? So when we're having meeting a new client for the first time, we have an onboarding card where they have, like when I'm meeting a buyer or a seller, we're meeting them for the first time, it'll have their name, phone number, home address. If they're married, we're marketing to both people, if they, whatever. We're going to have hobbies, interests. We want to have also, are you a mother? Are you a father? Here we're in the South where football is big. Who's your favorite team? And these are things that we'll use as we're marketing. Remember, I said you need to know who you're talking to. So if it's a big game going on, we can filter all the Alabama fans and saying, let's go Roll Tide, or Auburn saying, are we going to beat you this year, and just have fun with it, right? And I'm just using it as an example, but that's the importance of making sure that you understand who your client is, and we make sure we intake that information. Many of us don't even realize that we follow the same process when we're doing business with people, where they'll ask you a series of questions where they're not asking you that just to, do it for no reason. They're building your avatar. They're getting to know who you are, what you like, and the things that they can now market to you, right? Remember, you're not in competition with another agent. You're in competition with other businesses. And so because you are running a business, treat it that way and do the same thing other businesses do. And what they know their client avatar. They understand what the client needs and what their wants and desires are. But my point is, so that's why you have to go in and filter mothers, filter fathers. We'll do things like for Valentine's and everything. I kind of tell you that. Well, we'll have roses, and we love our client events. But you have to really be able to make sure that you're tagging people and having a really clean database that you can filter, and a CRM that can handle that.
That's a great point. Tagging is so key. I forgot to add that earlier, but that is super important. We also make calls. Well, we don't anymore, but we did. Now we have an assistant who actually does it for us, but we would make calls, and I just have these for examples of like things that we could actually say in the calls. If we want to tell them about, doing reminding them to do their homestead exemption, or if we do call and ask for a referral, that's fine. Like, that's not every call we're going to make, but that might be one call that we make once a year. It might just be a follow-up on a conversation that we had a few months ago with the client. So, and that's something that you can outsource eventually. I wouldn't do that initially. That's something that if you know,
Yeah, you need
you're
to do it
just
first.
getting this together, it's something that I would do myself.
Right.
I would call my clients myself. Eventually though, you can get to the point, especially once your clients start to know your assistant as well. If you've worked with them before and things like that, they're familiar with that person. And so they feel comfortable having conversation with them. And it feels like it's you calling too.
Remember, they're committed to the service you provide, not you necessarily. And I think sometimes agents feel like the clients are just solely wanting them. They just want the phenomenal service that you provide. Okay. And another quick way, if you are calling for referrals and you're really asking, tied to a plan, tied to a goal. So what you want to share with them, because people love to work with you. Hey, Ebony, it's Clarence. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, y'all still enjoying the house. I have a goal of helping 100 homeowners this year, and building wealth, because everybody wants to own American piece of pie. And if you were to say that, like, if you hear of anybody, let us know. And I'm not saying I would say that, I'm just giving an example, but tied to something, whether it be, hey, I'm paying every closing I have, I'm giving out $100 to the boys club to help send kids off to college, whatever. People would buy into stuff like that quicker than just call and say, somebody looking to buy, sell, and invest in real estate. I need to close some more houses this month, and people hate, even the person who has to make that call typically really hate to do that. And so you end up not doing anything at all. So we want to make this fun. Remember, whatever you're doing in work and in life, you want to not only make money, but you want to enjoy it, right? We love working with our clients. We really have fun doing this. It's not, yes, it is work and you have to do transactions, but a lot of times it's a lot better. And we've done it before where I'm sitting there dialing for dollars all day. It drains energy doing that compared to calling people and they're really happy to hear from you, and you still do what you have to do. I'm not saying you shouldn't dial for dollars. That's part of your business. But for those who really want to build a business and have fun with it, we really enjoy this. And people love hearing from you and talking to you all the time. I've never had a client hang up and saying, I hate you checked on me today. Boom. Never.
We do things for their birthdays, obviously. And sometimes that depends on where they are in that category list. So some of our clients, especially the ones that are higher up on our hot candidate list and the have mets and all that stuff, they might get something a little more personalized. They might get a birthday card, a physical card mailed to them if we have their address, or they might get some type of QR code sent to them to go get a Starbucks that day or go get something special for them that day.
I'm sorry. That's it. I clicked out the wrong one.
So it just depends. Now, if there's somebody on our have not met list, they might get a digital card. Correct. Or they might get something on social media sent to their inbox, things like that. So there are always ways that you can touch people, whether you know them or not.
Right.
But the better the relationship you have, the better gift they should be receiving. Right. So we always do a 1-year closing anniversary card and call and video.
Hold on 1 second. I want to clear that up too, because some people say like, wow, so certain people get certain gifts. That's right. If you fly more with Delta, you get on the plane first. Right. If you go to the Ritz-Carlton more, you get a special treatment than anybody who's going for the first time. So I want you to think of it as a business. People reward customers who do repeat business with them. And those who are entering that world and haven't done as much business, well, you're going to get on the back of the plane. You're going to probably be last, unless you're paying for other upgrades in first class or what have you. But that's just, I want you to think of that the same way. Don't think of this as you are a real estate agent. You're running a business, right? And so you're communicating with customers and with people. You have to treat it that same way because they're used to Amazon. They're used to going to places that treat them this way. You can't separate and interrupt that pattern, right? You have to have that same level of experience and service that they're already accustomed to, especially when you have somebody paying $300,000 to $500,000 for a house. They've experienced a different, some areas of experience of places, and they want to see the same consistency with their agent.
And we've had clients, we've had past clients who had never used us personally, but referred us so much business. And every time they referred us, we always rewarded them with some type of gift.
Yes.
Whether it be, and it depended on the referral, and it also depended on how many times they referred us. Like we have one couple before, they just bought a house with us last year, but prior to that, they had probably referred us 10
at least
10 people.
Easy.
And so, by that time, by the 9th, 10th person, they just kept, we were sending them to Perry's, which is a nice steakhouse. We were sending them to dinner. They never purchased a home with us, but we wanted to keep rewarding that behavior. And that's the same thing that businesses do as well. When you fly, we like to fly Delta. And one thing they always do, they reward their clients who fly frequently with them, right? So we want to do the same thing. We want to make sure that we're sending out things for reviews, because that Google review is very important
to us. You have to do that every time. That's part of it too. So, and
we also reward that behavior. Every time somebody gives us a review, then we send them a $5 Starbucks card. So we're always rewarding behavior. We're always staying top of mind for people. Social media posts, of course, that's obvious. We want to do that. Save the days. We always do some type of annual client appreciation, and we always try to do some type of charitable event that we can involve our clients in. And that's because twofold. We want to make sure that we're passionate about doing community service and things like that, but we also want to involve our clients in those things as well, because everybody doesn't care about your fancy party, your client appreciation party, but they do care about Habitat for Humanity, right, or they do care about foster kids, or they do care about animals. And so that's something that they can then connect with us too, right?
And I don't know, she'll probably get into this. And these client appreciation parties almost cost nothing. I mean, it might cost us $300 or $400, but it's a all blown out lanterns. Like, we have fun with it. So
this is real quick. I want you to make sure when you're doing your plan, I wanted to make sure I hit this, that if you're going to have an assistant do this, make sure that for each one of these items that you're going to do, that you're telling your assistant or whoever is handling this for you, this back end stuff, that you're telling them which list is going to get what. Right. So I just kind of did a little example here where you can go through and say, okay, my hot list people, my leads who get the product list, my leads that I know, all of those people are going to get the newsletter, right? And I'm going to go through each one of these, and I'm going to show my assistant or my ISA, whoever is helping me do this work, because delegation is key with this, because this is a lot. I'm going to show them who gets what, so that I'm being specific and being intentional about what goes out. Okay. Just wanted to show you that real quick.
Tech.
So before we kind of talk about some of the events that we do, and I have a video to show you one of the events that we've done that was a huge success for us. And just to give you an example of something you can do, we want to talk about the tech part of it, because this is important. Not only if you don't have an assistant or an ISA, and trust me, ISAs don't cost a whole lot of money. You can get somebody part-time even to do most of this stuff. This is, 3 or 4 hours a day. Even if you get somebody to just do the projects, you know how on Upwork, I should have put that on there. On Upwork, you can hire people just for projects. Right. You don't have to hire them for a long-term period. Right. Yeah, 5 or 2. So you can hire that person for like 2 months to say, hey, for the next 2 months, I want you to help me clean up my database and get my list together and get these people rolling on these systems, right? And then they can move on, and you can move on, and you can start operating it on your own if that's what you choose to do. But these are some of the tech pieces that we utilize consistently to stay on the forefront. I'm sure I missed some. Clarence was telling me some earlier, and I was like, oh, I forgot to put that one on there. So Canva is a big one. I love Canva. I actually did this presentation on Canva. So that's where we create all of our marketing pieces, all of our stuff that's going to be going out. We do Canva. I actually have the team one, but you can do the free version. It works just as well. Only reason I have a team version is because we have assistants that we collaborate with on Canva. So MailChimp is a huge one as well. That's where we do all of our newsletters. We send out all of our email mailers. All that stuff goes through MailChimp. You can add your videos in there. KV Core is a great one. I like to use Sierra. We use Sierra Interactive as our CRM, but I also like to use KV Core from my database because it helps me to separate. We have so many leads that we've had from over the years from just having our team. I think we're at like 30,000 or something leads that's sitting in our CRM. So I like to be able to separate them sometimes. And so I put our database in KV Core as well. because sometimes I don't want to go through all of the filtering that it takes in Sierra. I want to just go to who I want to go to. And so I have them in KV Core so that we can do that. Bomb Bomb is our video. When you kind of want to talk about Bomb Bomb a little bit.
So yeah, I like Bomb Bomb because it allows you, like you said, you can kind of be like moving around. You know, people like to see that movement before the video is actually played. You can see who opened it, right? It has tracking. And I'm sure Sierra does. We're just so used to Bomb Bomb. So that's why we found that one. Also, what we should have put two more, and Ebony, I have to add them later, is Google Calendar, because what we'll do, every closing that we have, our system will automatically, so we have a closing checklist. And as we're going through that list, one of the things we're doing after the review is going in and placing the client's closing anniversary inside of the auto responder in Sierra, where it automatically go out each and every year on their anniversary date. But it's also in my calendar as a task. What we'll do on a weekly basis is go ahead and record all the video we need for that week. So what we'll do is have whose birthday it is, whose closing anniversary this week. Like, let's say somebody bought a house from us last year. On Friday of this week, I'll record everything for next week. Hey, Ms. Johnson, it's Clarence. Hope you're still enjoying the house. Happy home anniversary. Next person. Hey, Ebony, hope you're doing well. Happy birthday to you. Remember that last time we was hanging out at the closing? See, you can get, and we shoot, you can do like 25 videos literally in 30 minutes. They just quick to the point. Bomb Bomb allows you to shoot them, do them, and send them right out from there. That's why I love it. You know, it's just a lot more. And then we also use Trello for the plan. So I was told Ebony, I don't know if we'll have time to really share our screen, but literally we have the year mapped out about what we're doing, by when do we need to start it? Because you can't plan a party that you're going to do in summer. You should start working on that in March. For the things we did for Valentine's, we started working on that December. So you have to make sure, again, taking massive action. You have to already have a plan in place and take action on that plan. So it's a lot easier that that's out of the way and you're not all like, oh man, we forgot to start this plan. And we've done that several times before, just being transparent. Like that's where we started working through this. And it's still some weeks where I might miss a birthday. We'll just have to record it later. So the objective is, like you say, less is more, because the less people you have in here, the more effective you can be if you could take action on this. A lot of times people despise a 50-person database, right? You could really work that 50-person database, get one referral from half the people. Let's call it 25 people. Out of those 25, only 10 transact or 12 transact out of those with an average sales price of $250,000, $300,000. That's probably not a bad year for a second agent, a 1 or 2 year agent, right? So again, you know, the more you have, the better, but it's just a way to, and it almost costs nothing. And I just say almost, it's a low to no cost type of investment. And that's what I do love about it. So.
And then of course we utilize Facebook. We have a Facebook group just for our database. And so in that Facebook group, we're able to be a little more personalized. We're able to put in there our events and things like that we're having. And we know that it's going to go to those people that are specifically in that group. And then we love YouTube because that's where we do a lot of our videos and that kind of content that goes out to our database, right? I know that was gonna start. So one thing we love also is client events. If you have never read 7 Levels of Communication, that is an excellent book. It's an older book. It's been around for a while, but if you haven't read it, pick that one up. It is a great book that talks about how to generate referrals. One thing that he talks about in there is how he does his client events, and he being Michael Meyer, the author, how he did his client events. And so we took that same concept. I actually took the class that he offered for that and implemented it in our business. One thing you need to understand about client events, and this is something that I think most people miss, it's never about the actual event. When it comes to referrals, when it comes to touching your database, it's not about the actual event. Half of the people are going to show up to your event. Half of them will show up. What it's about is the work that you put in ahead of the event in order to promote it. That's important because that's what people are going to remember. Okay. They're going to remember the 6 weeks that you took ahead of time to send them information about the events, to send them event registration, to send them whatever special, videos you created or flyers that you created about the events, they're going to remember that, because from 6 weeks to the event date, you're going to be sending them something every week promoting that event.
Calls, text, video, voicemail drops, calls, promoting it on live,
right,
through the group that you have, right? And so I also want to let you know too, because of how, the times have changed. Even if you feel like, hey, I don't have the money to really do that, you can do a virtual wine and Wednesdays once a quarter for your clients where they can't see who's on, or you can just, be creative. You can use the library. You can use a coffee local shop, right? You can learn to be creative, get it done. That's all I'm saying. Find a way to get it done, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss things. Treat your VIP people with special treatment, because that make everybody else on the other side of the rope like, I want to get over there. Mm-hmm. So like we would have, when they came to the movie theater, you could have popcorn and free stuff like that for the people who refer you. Those who don't, they they would have to just come in and enjoy the movie. But there's so many other things. We do a trunk or treat. You forgot all that, because we do even though it's not a big event, we'll do trunk or treats. We do Valentine's, we'll have everybody come to the expensive, nice restaurant. Every lady who comes gets a rose, and we may only pay for a spread of a couple bottles of champagne and some appetizers, and people love that. It's just amazing how you can be creative and get in front of people, y'all. Times have changed. People want personal connection now. People want that level, because a lot of people are missing that, right? And so it's about you bringing that piece back into your business. The one company I feel like if they start having real people answer the phone and getting all this automated, they'll be a successful business, like credit card companies, phone bill places, because people want personal touch. You know what I'm saying? Because so many places now you call 800, you got to hit 25 different robots to get to a human being, right? So it's cool to have somebody personal. When they pick up that phone, you dial 800 number, it's like, hey, Mr. Graham, how are you? Like, man, somebody really answered. And so that's the same thing with you. Get from behind being the agent that's just dropping texts and emails. Get back in front of people, shake hands and kiss babes, is what they say. Remember, you are out here bidding to be the president of the real estate market. So you have to go out here and politic. And that's just what it's about. And keep building the bigger your spirit you can grow, the more commercials you can do. Like, this is what I call commercials, when you can get in front of people, shooting video, getting in front of them. This stuff is very low to no cost, y'all. I can't believe how many people really don't systematically work their database. It's crazy.
So I'm gonna just show you really quickly, because I want to point out some of the things that we extract from these videos like this. Now, one thing we always pay for, if we're going to do an event, we're always going to have a videographer there, because we want to be able to capture, because not only do we want to have the event, but we also want to use the event as content,
right?
Because what that's going to do is that's going to say to the people who either weren't at the event or didn't get invited to the event, like, hey, how can I start going to their stuff? Right. Like, because that looks like fun. So how can I be a part of that so that I can start coming to the things that they are having?
Hi, my name is Ashley Lane. I became a client of the Graham Group back in 2010. I was referred to Clarence by a good friend of mine. And since then, I've referred several people to Clarence and his wife, because I believe in what they do. They're honest people. And coming from a woman, it's important to have a group behind you that actually believes in you and believes in what you have, what you're looking forward to in the future.
My name is Heather Jones, and I had a great experience working with the team. Clarence helped us buy both of our houses and sell one of them, and it was just an awesome experience.
And so the cool part about this too, you have to realize these are people that bought houses literally 15, 10, 20, like literally years ago. Right. It's very fun to really be able to continue to be a part of their lives. I love it.
But we're able to extract portions of those testimonials, and we're able to use that as other content as well. So that's why it's important for us. It's worth it to us to pay, $200 to have a videographer stay with us the entire event, so that he can capture moments like that, and then we can use that content continuously.
And forgive us, because like I said, we have a lot more meat and potato in this whole process that we do with these. So we wanted to make sure we be respectful of time. We hit the time 48 minutes after the hour. So we want to just open up and see if anybody have any questions. Y'all start to share. And again, I apologize. Like I said, we wanted to just get through as much as we can, but being that this is a very, it's a process to this, it's a lot more in detail that we could go into to help you really how to get established, how to set it up, how to clean up, how to really implement all of this stuff. It just would have been a 2-hour, 3-hour class to really be able to do that. So.
But if you have those questions, if you want to get more in depth, hit us up. Like, we're available to you guys. We would love to help you kind of walk through specific parts of your list that you're trying to really figure out what to do with these people. If you want to be a little bit more creative and you want to kind of brainstorm and think through some ways to maybe hit those people that you don't know that well, we can talk about that as well. We're available to help you as much as we can.
Right. And so I said, all right. So first question we have too is what's the absolute best way to get started and clean up your database? And I'll let you, because I think Ebony has a great way of going through like the A and how to break that down piece by piece.
So two things I do. So I have a memory jogger that I use. If you want access to that, I will give it to you. Just let me know, send me a Facebook message or whatever. I have a memory jogger that I used to use. And what that would do is that would allow me to remember everybody, because we forget that we know people from the softball team. We forget, all the things that we are a part of and those people that we know in those groups. And so I have that we used to use to go through our database. To go through the people that we know or people that we have met in the past. And so we do that. And then what I do from there is I take that and I kind of separate it. I used to be an elementary school teacher, so forgive me, but I take them and I alphabetize all of those people, right? And so I put them in alphabetical order by group. So that allows me to then have groups that are alphabetized, and I can take those groups and I can give them to my assistant and I can say, okay, on week 1 through 4 or week 1 through 2, you're going to call list A, B, C, and D. Right. And then that gives her kind of a system that she goes through, and we do it by quarter. So we want to be able to hit each group once a quarter. Right. And so we separate it by quarters, and it makes it super easy. I think a lot of times we try to overcomplicate things when they don't have to be that. It can be as simple as you want it to be.
Good stuff. And then also, I'm gonna answer. And also, as you're going through that cleaning up, the questions you're asking is, hey, I know, I just want to make sure you have home address. Remember, if you have a relationship with the wife or the husband, make sure you get the other spouse if they're married or if they're together. Don't just market to one person. I see people do that and end up, you never know who's the dominant or the person who's making the decision when it comes up, right? So make sure that you're getting their name, of course, email address for both, wedding anniversary if they're married, or birthday, right? I always find out children names. Now, I don't send children birthdays like we used to, but I do want to know the kid's name. Tag you, of course, if you are a mother, if you are a father. And then I find out what are your special interests. Like, hypothetically, and this is a good script too. Hey, if you were to refer me someone, what's the best gift I can give you back or reward you for sending that person? So give me some ideas of things you like. And then we kind of go off of that. So that's just a little help there. Had another question. When do you ask for referrals, or what's your script? Do you ask them to write it down, a few names and numbers? So I'll tell you a couple of different ways, and Ebony can add to it. We're working on that throughout the transaction first. Let's just say I'm in the process with them, right? One of the things we're working on right now is changing up our process, and we just sharing is shooting video through the buying process or the selling process, right? So it'll be like, congratulations, you're not under contract. We want to thank you so much for working with the Grand Group Real Estate team. One of the things we love to do is work with people like you. So as you're experiencing this great service, what we want to do is find out who else like you would like to experience service like this. Please click the small link below, because our goal is to continue to help people like you and sell hundreds of homes and help them. Like I'm just saying, that would be your script. And I wouldn't say sell hundreds of homes. It'll be my goal is to continue to help at least 100 people become homeowners this year. And so by doing that, you help us achieve that goal and help them become that as well, right? That's in a nutshell how we would ask that. Let's say you've already completed the transaction and you have no relationship with them. I personally, and to each his own, if I'm going to reestablish that relationship before I start asking for business. Because if you call me out of the blue and you're starting the script and I hadn't heard from you since you sold me a house 6 years ago, we need to reestablish that relationship. Again, it's like the guy buying a drink at the bar and it's like, hey, you want to get married? It's like, no, we have to reestablish that relationship again, checking on you, Julie, how things are going, how, everything's been well with the house. Have y'all been keeping your home warranted up? Oh, really? Oh, man, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hey, what I'm doing, I'm improving my client gold royalty plan. That's what I'm working on right now. I need to update you, get everything in place, and then start building that relationship the way we're talking about through these various, ways that we're saying. And then I would get into that point later, but I would immediately start asking for that. And I hope that helps.
And it's so, when we started switching it up and started asking for those referrals during the process, like while they're in the thick of it,
Yes.
we got so much more of a response from people because they're actually in the
Right.
process and they know that we are servicing them the way that we're supposed to service them, right? We're providing high levels of customer service. And so it's so much easier to get it then than it is,
After
like
the
you
fact.
said, 6 years
Right.
later, when you got to reestablish a relationship. It can be done.
Right.
It definitely can be done because we have had to do that too. As people we've dropped the ball on,
Yes.
and we have to try to reestablish relationship with them. But it's a lot easier when we swap that up and started doing it in the
process.
middle of the process, and we do it multiple times throughout the process, right? So we're updating them on what's the next step in the home buying or home selling process, and we're also asking them for the referral at the same time.
Go set that up. So remember, congratulations, you're down the contract. We're expecting to get earnest money, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be setting up your home inspection. Oh, now home inspection is done. That's when we're going to be working with you to negotiate repairs if any is needed. And we're going to be going through this. Oh, guess what? Next is the appraisal process. And so but guess what? Who else do you know that needs to experience this same level and be excited like you are to know your appraisal came by? So you have to be recording that. That needs to be dropped in that. You could touch a person 60 times when you're buying a house through that process.
Yeah.
And they'll watch every last one of them because they don't want to miss anything. And you're also providing a higher level of service and communicate, here's what's happening, here's what to expect next.
Great questions, guys.
Great
Thank
questions. So if that's it, I mean, it's 9:56. We hit it 1 hour on the head. We wanted to make sure we didn't go over. And again, it's a lot of information. I hope we brought some value and been able to get you started on really working your relationships. And really, guys, I think it's one of the best things to do now and moving forward as you're seeing the market and what it's doing in a great way. I'm not saying that the market is not bad, but the more agents that would drop off, the more market share you would gain if they know you, like you, and trust you. You have to start selling to people, or not, I don't want to say selling. You have to start marketing yourself to people when they don't need you.
Right.
So when the time comes up, they need you, they don't even have to think, they know you. And I want you to be very present on that because a lot of times we're only looking for people that use the words, I'm pre-approved, I'm ready to sell a house. And those are the only people we want to talk to. 100 other agents are jumping at those same people too. I want to control mind share when you don't need me. So it's automatic, like a habit. The moment I think of a house, I already know the person I'm going to because you've built such a relationship. I've never met you, but you built such a relationship with me on through social and all of that stuff. You my agent and I don't even know it. Because a lot of y'all got Facebook friends, you don't even know them, but they're your Facebook friend, you never met them, but you can tell if it ain't your best friend. That's because they've done a great job socially providing taking your mind share like that. You can do the same.
All right, guys.
Anything else?
I was looking in the chat. I think
You
we're good.
guys killed it. And it kind of ties into the Rams program that Gary and them is going to be launching off. And so I love it, man. Timely stuff.
Great.
Good
great,
deal.
great.
Well, keep icon, and that's what helped us icon literally, even though, it's that spear, man.
Yeah. Even when we didn't, last year we decided not to do a team anymore and we just moved everybody to the network. And so even we still iconed last year with just us two.
Mhm.
And that was why we weren't picking up the phone, lead generating and doing all that stuff. We didn't have time to do that because we had flips that we had to get done and stuff like that. But we had people calling us because we implemented stuff like this.
I love it. One guy said, I enjoyed you guys. Great info, great stuff. And I got to echo that stuff. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. I appreciate you guys stepping up and doing this. I love you guys, man. And I love seeing you guys. And you guys got this down. And so reach out to these guys, follow them on Facebook, guys. They definitely know their stuff. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you,
y'all.
Adam. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.